What is up? Welcome back to Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox, joined as always by Dan Regester and special returning guest, really like our second or third most regular at this point, Gabi Montemayor.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back.
We're happy
Thanks.
you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
We're sorry we're a day late. I have a family.
It's Rob's fault.
Yeah,
The usual.
typical. Just loving on my children
He
too
got
much.
to take a vacation.
Sort of.
It's kind of bullshit.
Kind of. In a way. It was mostly like, most of it was just traveling with children. Like not being at the end destination, but like getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry, you get to board early.
I did have a beer on the plane. I did get to board early, which was sweet. But I did have a beer on the plane. It was like noon, and my wife was like, "What are you doing? You're drinking?" And I was just like, "This is a fucking nightmare."
It's
Yeah,
not
I'm
a vacation for you if you have your kids with you. It's like
not. It's
playing an away game.
Someone
You're
said
just losing.
it's exact. So instead, it's like, no, it's not a vacation. It's a trip.
It's a trip.
Yeah,
But like
There's
a bad
a difference.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like saying the Oregon Trail's a vacation. Like, oh, how fun.
Like, wow, you get to see new things.
Beautiful landscapes,
Dysentery.
waterways not previously seen.
I mean, there's diarrhea involved usually.
Always.
Yeah, whatever dog shit they eat at the airport or on vacation or whatever. So yeah, we're a day late because I was on a mini vacation with the fam. They're still gone, so I'm just gonna bachelor it up this week.
What's up?
Just gonna go nuts.
Dude, you're going to get so many prostitutes.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Dripping Springs has a great brothel.
So I hear.
Yeah,
That's why they call it Dripping Springs.
Because the ladies are wet.
wet vaginas dripping. They're so wet. Boom! Welcome to Softcore History.
I mean,
Clip
looking
it.
at that shirtless photo of you from vacation, they might be.
You had the most just backhanded compliment about
He's
me.
just shocked you're not like a fat slob.
I like it that I'm not a complete bag of milk.
Honestly, we're all shocked.
Blew my fucking mind.
Like, what
How
is
are
that,
you
a
keeping
body?
it tight? You drink alcohol, eat like you eat Doritos every day.
I don't eat Doritos.
That's all
every
you
day.
live off of.
I did just eat Chick-fil-A, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
It's
your body's a
Because you're a
dumpster.
God-fearing
it is a
man.
long day. You know how many fucking calories you burn when you fucking are chasing around two toddlers? Like, I don't sit down.
Yeah.
Like, and actually what's worse is you do sit down and you immediately have to get back up. You're carrying someone constantly. Half the time you're fucking carrying them. They don't even want to be in your arms. So imagine like carrying a 40-pound package that doesn't want to be carried. They're just trying
Meanwhile,
to fight
I'm eating clean. I'm going to the gym every day. And really, the results aren't much better, so I'm just going to drink. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Drink.
It doesn't matter anymore.
How have you not already learned that, and this isn't really particular to you, this is for both of us in different ways. Like for this podcast, for example, everything you try hard at isn't worth it and you won't get the results you deserve.
In fact, you'll be made fun of.
Give up.
Yeah.
Just give up.
Give up.
Give up. That's kind of the lesson you should take from this podcast. Whether or not you learn anything else is unimportant.
Yeah. Be like, history will forget you.
Oh,
Nothing you do matters.
Mean zero in the grand scheme of things.
No.
Like, you're not taking over a country. That's really, all great men are really known for conquering.
Even most people who take over countries don't get remembered. You think
Most of
Maduro
them.
is going to be remembered by anyone?
No.
He'll be forgotten in Venezuela in 100 years.
And how many explorers do we know? Like 2?
Right. Out of like
Columbus
thousands.
and Magellan?
Yeah. I mean, even like, do you know who Ponce de Leon is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm trying to think. Pizarro would be another one. Who's
Lewis
the
and
guy?
Clark, those guys?
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
There's 5, right?
Which one's Lewis and which one's Clark?
Who cares?
They're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
I
Penn and
know-
Teller. I don't remember which is the one that doesn't talk. Is it Teller? Is that why it's funny?
I think that's the joke.
Teller is the
I
one that
couldn't-
doesn't
yeah,
talk.
but
I
Good
hope
point.
that's
I have
what
no
the
idea.
joke- Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
That's why, yeah. If you're a duo, you just become the duo.
And if you split up, it's tragic. Like, don't do that. If you have a good thing going with another person,
Yeah, Hall and Oates.
continue that.
But also, by the way, this is the second time in like 2 weeks you've said this about one of your podcast co-host bodies. Because remember last week we were like, God damn, Jake's lost a lot of weight.
Well, he's working the
He's
farms.
working the fields.
He's a field
the
hand.
oyster fields.
Yeah. Well, he's
How is he?
good.
We don't
I miss
know.
him.
We don't talk to him.
Why
Yeah.
would we ever check in?
He
He turned his back on us.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
Fair.
absolutely dead to us.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of dead,
And we wish him well.
yeah, we do. But speaking of dead, let's get into this week's topic. Today, I thought as I was writing, or when I was thinking of topics or whatever, I was like, I'm tired of hearing about people trying to kill presidents. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. Who cares? Get over it. I'm over it.
I want people to bring other presidents alive.
Resuscitate.
Dead
That would
presidents.
be cooler, yeah, is resuscitating dead presidents. But we're going to do the next best thing. Instead of talking about presidents who've been killed or almost killed, we're going to talk about presidents who have killed.
Murderous presidents.
Murderous presidents. Presidents with bodies. Now, every president pretty much, certainly post-World War II, probably post-Civil War, or from Lincoln on, they've got bodies on their hands, right?
Couple do, especially like a Kennedy.
Well, I'll get to that in a second, but every president, whether it's removing Indians from land or droning some terrorist, whatever it is, like they've all ordered deaths, right? But how many have taken lives with their own fucking hands? That's what we're here to talk about today.
Incredible
If
topic.
you're flying a plane, does it count?
Yes.
Is that your own fucking hands?
It's close enough, man.
All right. Seems like we're giving participation trophies now.
What you just mentioned Kennedy. He was piloting a boat.
I know.
How's that any different?
It's not.
Okay. As long as you're aware of your flawed logic.
I'm not even making that argument. I'm saying, what are we counting as a kill?
If you're pulling a trigger or something along those lines, and it directly leads to a death.
So it's basically like you ordered someone else to do it. It's like you did it through your actions or through the vehicle that you're controlling with your
Yes.
You're responsible for it.
Yes, you are directly responsible for it.
What about all the people that Gerald Ford murked on the football fields?
Yeah, anyone that died of CTE is
Long term.
Gerald Ford's blood is Gerald Ford has blood on his hands for those people.
Okay. Just double checking.
So probably several. I mean, the Big Ten is littered with the bones of Gerald Ford's victims. He played Michigan football.
What position did he play?
He's a running back, I think?
No, he was a center.
Okay.
He chose to go to Michigan over playing for the Green Bay Packers.
Ooh, center, actually. Here's probably where he did most of his damage. Center and linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Two-way.
Yeah.
Don't make them like they used to.
Dude, he got 2 natties.
Yeah, Michigan was good.
Yeah, fuck.
He made the right decision not
But he
going
never
to the
played in the
Packers.
NFL?
He skipped the NFL. He was like,
The NFL was a joke back then.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a league
Yeah.
for bums and
Okay.
yeah. Like you were like,
It's
Try-
better. It was better to go play college.
Yes.
yeah, I'm trying to think
It
of
was like more prestigious.
And
And he got a college education and became president.
That's
but
the most
he
important part.
even turned down the NFL after college.
Oh, yeah?
'Cause
What
it
did he
was
do
a-
after college?
I don't remember.
Well, most collegiate
What, his dad's
athletes
law
go
firm?
professional in something other than sports.
Yeah, even if they could go pro in sports back then.
You didn't want to.
Basketball and football back then, no. That's like literally you have to have 3 jobs.
Okay. Like a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Yes. Yeah. Dallas Cowboys used to get paid what Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders get paid.
Crime. Criminal.
Cheerleaders make like $10,000 a year. It's
They
great.
make like no money. It's so sad.
For the time commitment too, it's
Yeah.
goddamn
We're
insane.
paying you an exposure.
An exposure for what?
You
I
get
bet you the average Dallas Cowboy cheerleader Instagram following is 10K.
Yeah,
if
it's not.
that.
Because I watched the show and I was like looking them all up, and like most, like a couple of them have over 50, but it's like nothing.
It's all Jerry
And
Jones
no brand
burner
deals.
accounts.
Like I feel like
Yeah.
they probably can't do brand deals while they're
In-
associated with DCC.
Oh, I bet you. Yeah, because they're like the Dallas Cowboy
'Cause then
cheerleaders.
and then it's
Yeah, we have standards, y'all.
yeah. Charlotte Jones, what a bitch.
Is that the head?
That's the Jerry Jones's daughter, who's like she's the head, and she's like
Good for
they
her.
don't do this for the money. They do this for the prestige of being a DCC, and it's like, but also pay these poor girls.
No
They have
one-
no other skills.
No one. I mean, actually,
No other league makes more money.
I mean, like, just be like, and if you buy a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader popsicle, then that goes like, if you were to sell one concession, that would be like, that's the DCC cheerleader. Like,
No, they should
you-
only
they double
have
their pay.
Amazon affiliate links in their bios, and that's what they get
They
paid
can't even
for.
do OnlyFans.
You
They
can-
can't do anything.
Oh,
Oh, you can't even profit on OnlyFans?
No, because you can't be like, you can't be doing
You
things.
can't be a
well, you
cheerleader and a
can't-
whore.
you can't
Not while you're a
profit
DCC.
While
Yeah,
you can, I guess
after,
get on
when
OnlyFans
you
after like,
retire.
former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
It doesn't have the same ring to it. If you can't
Yeah.
do it in the uniform, what's the point?
Yeah, you don't get to keep the. uniform.
Imagine that video in the uniform.
Yeah, but they
People
can't.
would pay for that. Do you know
Yeah.
how many just filthy, disgusting Cowboys fans would? Because there's only 2 cheerleaders. That
Even
are
Cowboy Rivals.
Oh yeah, You would you?
I'm an
You're an
Eagles,
Eagles
fan.
fan?
Take down an enemy's cheerleader.
Well, I mean, you'd be taking down yourself to a video of an enemy cheerleader.
It's the same thing in my head.
It's fair.
I paint the picture so vivid that when I'm cranking it,
Yeah,
it feels like I'm in the scene.
and maybe she feels it.
You're like, go Eagles as you finish.
Go Birds.
Fly Eagles fly.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Fly. Oh, I'm already done.
She's that good.
Wow.
But yeah, so we're talking about presidents who have specifically killed someone. So there have been 45 men in the office. There's 47, or no, there's been 45 men in the office. There's been but 46 presidents because Garfield served twice, non-consecutively. Out of the 45 men, how many do you think caught a body?
Washington.
At least 20.
I mean, I can just do the math right now, right? Washington for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Jefferson for sure.
Jefferson, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Jefferson has.
Do abortions count?
Yes. All right, so Jefferson, yeah.
Depends who you ask.
yeah. It depends on the trimester.
The first couple besides Washington are nerds.
Yeah.
So,
Soft hands.
I don't know if Monroe ever got into like a duel.
Just give me a what
Not
do you think?
Quincy.
Pick a number.
What do you percentage?
Definitely, I mean Jackson for sure.
We know Jackson did, and we'll talk
so that's
about
two.
So it's 2.
And then Tyler.
So you think it's less than 20?
It's probably, I would say, 12.
It's a good guess. I believe the count is potentially 11.
Wow.
There's some that are like, there's only a few we
That we
know
know
for
of.
sure. And then there's many others that were like, they had to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it's almost impossible.
It's like implausible that they didn't. Like it makes more sense to have killed somebody than to not.
And all of those, believe it or not. Oh, I'm sorry, no. There's 3 we know for sure. I'm not going to spoil the third because it's
Grant?
my favorite one.
I mean, Grant has a body.
But we don't know for sure.
Yes, we do.
We're pretty positive, and like he does. But there's 3 that are like fully 100%
They were like,
documented.
I killed that guy.
Like,
and I would
like
do it again.
no
So
question.
Washington, Jackson, Grant.
Okay, well we'll get into
Those
it.
are the 3 for sure.
No, we'll get it. We'll talk. We'll talk.
Well,
about
Tyler too. Tyler for sure has bodies.
it. We'll talk about it.
All right.
It's almost like that's
God.
what we're here for.
First up is our nation's founder, George Washington. Now, George wasn't gritting his slave teeth in the American Revolution.
No.
But before the American Revolution, he was a colonial officer, a provincial officer, I think they called it, in the British Army, in the French and Indian War, the 7 Years' War, as we like to call it on this show, the First World War,
Getting
technically.
himself some scalps.
Sort of. I mean, there are Indians on both sides of the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he, in this battle that we're going to talk about that he probably got his body at, the Indians were on his side, even though it was called the French and Indian War in the Americas because it was the French and Indians. The Indians largely allied with the French against the British, but the British did have some native allies as well.
Yeah, all the natives weren't just like buddy.
So wait,
Yeah.
I guess so murder counts in the context of war, like even if...
Yeah, if you killed someone on a battlefield.
What else would
Okay.
it mean? Like,
Most of these guys got their kills.
I'm imagining like drunk driving and you hit a pedestrian
Oh.
or like a revenge killing
Give it more time.
or like a woman, like, beating his first wife to death or something.
I mean, think of all the hookers.
The old-fashioned murder, like
Yeah,
the murder
the
with
good
the
stuff.
murder
Right.
with backbone.
How many women put out because Kennedy just maybe had
We'll
a night
never
with them?
know.
Sadly,
Probably several.
if Ted Kennedy had won his race, I think he primaried Jimmy Carter when Jimmy Carter was the incumbent because Carter was so unpopular. And if Ted Kennedy had won and then won the election against Reagan, which is probably unlikely, but let's just say he did, then we get the most murdery of all the murders
Yeah,
because Ted Kennedy drowned a lady,
I know.
Chappaquiddick, but he didn't win.
They
so it
straight up
doesn't count.
ripped it
Doesn't
for
count.
Succession.
Doesn't count. They did. I loved that.
It's like, wow, guys, it's really on the nose.
Well, except instead of a chick, it was like an idiot busboy or whatever who gave him coke, which
He had it coming.
Carter. He got in the car with him.
Don't do that.
If you're valeting cars, you know the risk.
You of your rich ass clients.
You know, Dan.
I know.
Your
I
rich
was a
clientele
fellow
from
valet
Florida.
at a Disney World resort for poors.
Was it like a La Quinta or something, or like a?
It was the World Center Marriott,
Oh.
but do not get it twisted. It was an awful hotel.
Yeah.
It was where people saved up for 5 years and pinched every penny to get there.
And they like put it on this debit card, but I'm gonna pay cash.
And it's,
I didn't even get to drive cool cars. It was minivans.
That's the only point. That's the only
I know.
reason to do it.
it's the type of vacation I've been on those, certainly, when it's like you see other kids buying whatever they want.
Oh yeah, like at the
The
gift shop or
overpriced
whatever.
gift shops, and
$50
your
Panda.
parents just shove you past. They're like, we're not getting
Don't
that.
look. Don't even think
Yeah.
about it. Like you'll get in trouble for asking.
Yeah.
We had to split tips.
I was I was with my with my kids and their grandpa. So he was doing grandpa shit, buying them. We were at this like mall up in Dallas, and like they went into the Crayola store,
Oh god.
and like while other kids were just window shopping, my father-in-law was just buying them whatever
That's
they
what
wanted in the
grandparents are
Crayola store. I know, but I was just
for.
like, to the kids outside, I was just like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, you're not rich.
I'm like, I know how you feel. I get it. These kids are pieces of shit.
That's
my
but
children.
that's what grandparents are for.
Exactly.
Parents are to say no. Grandparents are to say
Yeah, all the other
yeah.
kids
Let's
were,
buy two.
all the other kids were there with their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, you need to like old guy. He's gonna do whatever.
That's what you do. That's nice.
So Washington, this is the battle that some say kicked off the 7 Years' War, which, like I said, is arguably technically the first World War in human history. It was the Battle of Jumonville Glen. This battle took place in battle was a kind of a rough way, it's a generous way to say it. Somewhere,
Skirmish.
what?
Skirmish.
Very much a skirmish. It was in southwestern Pennsylvania, almost more of a rumble. Also, maybe a slaughter would be a good way to put it.
Yikes.
52 British colonial soldiers and Indians, commanded by Washington, ambushed and slaughtered like 35 French guys as they slept.
As they slept, it's kind of gnarly.
Well, they woke up. I mean, the first couple died sleeping. The
Sure.
rest woke up. And were
Oh.
like, oh,
The dream.
yeah.
Unless you're a heavy sleeper.
I'm a heavy sleeper.
I would sleep. I'd be like, someone else handle that. Just 5 more minutes. Go kill them.
Be like, do it.
Can't be that many.
Just don't miss.
Yeah, it's
Just don't miss.
There's definitely not 17 more of them than us. It's fine. The battle lasted 15 minutes.
Yikes.
And in fact,
That's a pillaging.
yeah, they fucked him up. It was a complete ambush. Washington might not have even caught his body during the battle. Some of these French guys got a little bit war crimed. There may or may not
So they
He
captured him.
tortured?
Maybe got a little lippy.
executed after surrendering type of situation.
So maybe it wasn't a cherry tree he chopped down, but a French guy's head.
Yeah, pretty much. They did say that there were varying reports of how the French commander died. I think maybe the Indians claimed. I think it was the Indians that were on the British side claimed that he got a musket ball to the head
Oof.
as he was trying to surrender, and then the British claimed that one of the Indians fucking tomahawked him as he was trying to talk to them or something.
Tony was Washington. He got a scalp.
So Washington's reports on the battle were always extremely brief and lacking in detail.
Like any good senior leader.
Yeah. They were just like, we found him, we attacked, we won.
This many.
Don't
No
worry.
numbers even?
I think there might have been numbers, but it was really just like, you don't need the details.
Yeah.
Like, we want it.
Just know that it was a success.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
And it was, like I said, it was a small battle. It was a tight quarters-ish battle because they fired and went into the camp and stuff like that. And then obviously they did some war crimey stuff afterwards. Washington actually wrote a letter to his brother after the battle, which
Bragging.
said, kind of, actually, it's
Ew.
a little, not sick, but it's a little like, all right, this guy wants to get some.
Bro, you'll never believe.
Kind of. Like, it's a get some type of letter. He wrote, this is verbatim what he said. I can with truth assure you I heard bullets whistle, and believe me, there was something charming in the sound.
Ick.
Yeah.
Charming in the sound.
Guy liked to fight.
That's fucked up.
Guy wanted to get some.
Ugh. Imagine the smell of like you're in an army camp. Like, obviously, it doesn't even smell good before. Like, no air conditioning. Everyone's hot. It's a bunch of dudes that don't shower or, like...
Yeah.
What time of year?
Let me check. It was. I mean, usually we're only fighting in the spring and summer.
And then,
this
like,
time,
hot blood.
May 28th.
And death and probably, like, excrement.
It's
you
probably
know?
a beautiful spring day in Pennsylvania.
Near Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It was until...
Well, it didn't help that. I mean, I guess the smell of the French guys just being smelly French guys and then pooping their pants when they died was there. But they left, I guess, before the corpses started rotting. But they did neglect to bury them also. Just left them out there to rot. So that is probably that Washington was in other engagements, but that is probably where he caught a body. If I had to
A few
wager.
bodies.
Maybe a few.
Straight execution style.
You don't know.
With the
Yeah.
musket, though, so it's like...
Well, he would have been sword and pistol
Oh, okay.
because he was an officer.
Mm.
So is the regular troops or colonial troops, whatever, they would have had the muskets. Washington would have been rocking a sword, maybe a flintlock pistol.
Oh, dude, if he took off a head with a sword, let's go.
Yeah. But
That's
again,
my king right there.
there were several accounts that said people were killed after the fact. No one really wanted to talk about who was killing, who did any of the killing.
Also, that's terrifying. He's a giant ginger.
He's 6'4".
For the time, he's
bright
huge.
red hair. For the time, he's fucking humongous.
I mean, for even now, he's pretty big, but yeah.
Yeah, for then
For the
he's-
time, if everyone else is like 5'8" on average.
No, they're like 5'4".
Smaller.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because, like, people kind of, like myself, rip on Napoleon, but apparently 5'6" isn't that small.
It was average height for the time.
Yeah.
Which,
I believe it.
but here's the thing, though. I guess you could say is that even now, average height men are considered short. 5'9".
That's still
5'9" is
short.
considered short.
Yeah, but that's the average American male height, and we're one of the taller countries.
Like, even though you would technically look up at somebody that was 5'9", you're really looking down on them.
I do. Unless they're like pretty rich or hot. Or a good dancer. I feel like if you're a good dancer, you can get away with.
So you could be
being shorter.
5'5", bald, ugly as hell, but if you just...
Those hips
If you're
don't
rich,
lie.
if you're rich and a good dancer,
so you
I'm
got
still
still 2
poor.
out of the 3 boxes.
yeah, you can't just be one.
He's homeless.
No.
But 5'10", great dancer.
And he hits the Dougie like no other.
The Dougie.
Like a great
Sign me up, baby.
wedding dancer.
I'm wet already.
Dripping, in fact.
Dripping Springs.
Yeah. Next up, we have our guy who we know killed someone for sure, documented as fuck. I'm going in chronological order of when they were president.
So not order of most to least killings.
Next
no. In fact,
Andrew Jackson.
we're talking about Andrew Jackson. You'll probably actually. Can you guess which president has the most kills?
Andrew Jackson.
Nope.
Oh.
It'll be someone both unexpected, but once you hear the name, unsurprising.
By his hands. So
Roosevelt.
somebody that fought in World War I or World War II.
No
If I
clue.
was to guess.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. So that limits it.
Yeah.
Doing the math. Couldn't have been FDR.
Nope.
He's just physically not capable of doing such.
I mean, he could still walk during World War I, but he was too
Yeah.
rich to serve.
Oh, okay.
Type of thing where
I don't know.
you just pay up. Well, we'll get to him because he's on the
Was
list.
it like a Calvin Coolidge type?
We'll get to him. He's on the list. But, yeah, sort of. Similar, I guess.
Come on, Dan.
we know Calvin Coolidge is too much of a Chad to kill.
Yeah, we'll get to him. Next up, we have Andrew Jackson, though. Andrew Jackson has taken more than this life, but we're just going to talk about this one life that he snatched.
Because it's pretty good.
Because we know it is.
He also could have
complete-
caught more bodies. Like, Davy Crockett robbed Andrew Jackson of a body.
Yeah, when Andrew Jackson, we talked about this on last week's show. Was it last
It was a
week?
Patreon episode a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Andrew Jackson was the first president who was attempted to be assassinated. But both the guys' flintlock pistols misfired. And Andrew Jackson just started beating him to death with his cane. And Davy Crockett had to pop in and hold Andrew Jackson back.
But that would have been so cool if they had finished it off.
I think it's cool that Davy
And it's
Crockett had
self-defense.
to hold you back.
Right. And
Yeah.
then he was also prosecuted by Francis Scott Key. Just a crazy amount of names that came together for
What a story.
the assassination.
What an ensemble.
It's a magical nation. But Jackson, the one kill we know for sure was in a duel. He definitely killed others in battle and God knows where else. But in a duel in 1805.
Just one? I feel like he has a few dual bodies.
This is the documented, for sure, dual body.
Okay.
Again, Jackson has many bodies.
Yeah.
I like by his hand. Like it's more than one.
Battle
for
of New
sure.
Orleans, I think he took some.
Actually, that one I bet he didn't because the British never got close, and he wasn't rocking a ranged weapon.
He became king of New Orleans.
That's fine. I'm just saying I guarantee you, he did not kill anyone in the Battle of New Orleans. The British never got close.
Maybe not in, but again, like Washington after.
Maybe, yeah, he might have stuck someone.
Jackson seems like a war criminal.
He might have put one in a dying.
He also
British
seems like
soldier.
a revenge killer. Like he seems like he would do it for the bit, or
Yes.
like in front of a crowd to like earn respect.
It's just old Hickory.
Yeah, just like think twice before you cross Andrew Jackson or something.
Yes, that's on brand for him. Like
Yeah.
completely.
He also probably fucked somebody to death at the White House.
Oh Jesus!
So when he got inaugurated,
New fear.
he had a giant orgy at the
What
White
if-
House.
Hold on. What if it's an aneurysm from an orgasm that was too good? Like your brain just pops.
I guess that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that how you want to go out?
I mean,
Mass euphoria.
yeah. Isn't that how? I think that's how Matthew McConaughey's dad died.
Dad, who apparently was also
What?
Like in the middle of fucking his mom. He had like a heart attack and died.
Oh, sweet.
the dad that he thinks is his dad, though. But I believe there's like a connection between him and Woody Harrelson. So Woody
yeah.
Harrelson's dad might also have fathered Matthew McConaughey.
That would be so cool.
And also Woody Harrelson's dad
With a hitman.
was a hitman. He's a contract killer.
Was he living in Blanco, Texas? Or wherever the fuck he's from?
Probably.
Yeah, you know, he is from this area, like
Okay.
the central Texas area,
Yeah.
I think. But he also apparently claimed to have a part in the JFK assassination.
Everyone looks for their
Stealing
part in
valor,
it.
I think.
Yeah,
He
I
might
mean,
have.
There's no way it can be that many players.
But he at least took out a judge, and he's a confirmed contract killer.
Yeah, he went to jail. Was it federal judge or?
Federal judge, yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I feel like that's the most common assassination. I feel like a lot of federal judges just get got.
What if he just took out a TV judge? Like Judge
That'd be
Judy?
sick, actually.
Or like the judges from like the Spanish channels. It's just like where it's just like a slutty telenovela
I think
version of Judge Judy.
that you should be allowed to bribe TV judges on air. Like you should just be able to pay your way out of it.
They're not real
Yeah.
judges, right?
Yeah, they're not. So,
No?
but
Yeah.
you do sign something to make them like
I would adhere
a
to their
legally
decision
binding
making. Yeah.
arbitrator or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a mediator.
Although someone actually said there was I read like BuzzFeed or something. It was all kind of bullshit too. And like if the show would pay you your settlement, not the other person.
Yeah.
And so these guys who lived in LA would just get on Judge Judy and shit all the time, and like with made up stuff like he ran over my dog or whatever.
Have you ever seen How To with John Wilson? It's such
No.
a funny show, but he did that a lot. Like in LA, like he had like a lot of time, and so anyone who wronged him, he would like submit to Judge Judy, and so he was on like 3 or 4 episodes, just because he's like a dude with too much time on his hands who like it's kind of autistic about documenting everything. Like he had everything documented, so he was like
That's
perfect.
If you try to get on one daytime TV show, what would it be, and why is it The Price is Right?
It's got to be The Price. That was my first thought. Or honestly,
And if you get on The Price is Right, what game?
Wheel of Fortune. I don't remember the
What game are you
specific
going
names
for?
Of Price is Right. I don't think I would be good at that because I don't know what things cost.
You don't like the yodeler mountain climber?
well, that's if you win. So yeah, first you guess the price, then you go up and you play the second game. There's like multiple. There's like multiple
Yeah.
steps to getting to the.
Well, you
final.
always pass on the first.
I think I'd rather do like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or Wheel of Fortune. I play a lot of trivia games and word games.
I don't think you would do good on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Wow.
Fuck off.
Wait.
Let's do it. I would
All right,
totally win.
Hold on.
If it's not just history.
Hold on. We will have a trivia competition in the future between you two
Okay.
on the Patreon.
Hello.
Because now we haven't been able to do game shows really because Jake's been gone. So all right, good.
Sean Dixon.
All right.
I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna have so much
it's gonna be
fucking
good.
fun.
He's gonna fucking ruin you.
Dan
yeah,
tries
but
to
I'm like undefeated.
Dan tries to fuck me constantly.
I've
Yeah,
beaten
no,
Rob and I've
fucking
beaten Jake.
Ream him, no lube.
I've only gone against both of them once each, and I beat them both times.
Oh yeah, I don't like to talk about that. It's enraging. Anyway,
Okay, Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson in 1805. Andrew Jackson's horse was supposed to race some other guy's horse, and I forget how much the bet was for, but there was a penalty if the horse dropped out after a certain date.
If the horse dropped out,
The guy, whatever,
or like die or lose a leg.
it was
or
like
something?
if the horse pulls a hammy, can't.
The
do
horse
it,
doesn't
right?
have a say in the
I
matter.
was gonna say
Yeah.
horses don't drop out; they
So
drop dead.
if the guy drops the horse out because the horse is no longer healthy enough to do it or whatever. So anyway, guy drops his horse out, can't do it, and there was a dropout penalty after a certain date. So this guy owes Andrew Jackson $800, equivalent of $21,000 today.
like a boxing promoter.
Yeah, for dropping out.
I don't know
of
if
the
I'm
race.
killing somebody over 21 grand.
It's not what it's over really at all. So
Pride. It's
The
always
threshold for
pride.
me is maybe 50.
This is what starts the feud.
Okay.
They kill each
It's
other
the
over.
impetus.
They kill each other over words.
Even
is
at
even
50,
dumber.
I'm still questioning
Yeah, I think
whether
it
or
would be
not I
6
want
figures
to
minimum.
take the risk.
Even that, it's like that's not really. It would have to be like a life-changing amount of money.
Right.
Like $1 million probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because even 100K is like, all right.
And it's like okay, yeah.
That's gonna move
not
me a
enough.
lot. It's a lot of trouble for 100K.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean, what do you have to pay for wet work? Like minimum 15?
Wet work.
Yeah,
like
little wet
body
work.
disposal. What's wet work?
Little hitman action.
okay. I have no idea.
What's the going
the
rate for
going
just
rate?
somebody to off someone for
We
you?
just get on the dark web real quick. How much does a hitman
Also,
cost?
all right, how comfortable are you, like, at the lowest price? What's the lowest price tag where you feel comfortable the guy would
Like
pull
you're
off
gonna
the
get
job?
your money's worth.
Like, if it's $500, I'm not paying that because,
No,
like, the guy
It's
sucks.
gonna do a shot. Yeah,
It
and
would
he's-
have to be so much money. It would have to be.
I think 10
More than
grand
I
is
have
where I'm like,
saved.
all right, I have
I
confidence
don't
in the
know.
hitman.
Even 10 grand
I
to me,
don't
it's
know
like
about
for what
that.
it would take for someone to do that, and the resources it would take, and the experience it would take to like pull it off correctly. To me, 10K feels like a Groupon level. Like to me, 10K feels
You're still
like
getting a deal.
he's
Yeah.
cutting corners.
because think about that. To make $100,000, he has to kill 10 people a year.
No, that's too much work. That's a lot of labor.
Yeah.
Because it's not just the killing; it's all the preparation and planning, and
10
then the
people a year just to
cleanup.
make $100K.
no.
There's yeah.
It's got to be at least.
I'd
I would say 50K, and 50K
Yeah.
would be like for somebody that's kind of old, where you could kind of blame it on age or their own, like you could make it look like an accident, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's like somebody healthy and in the public eye, I feel like it's got to be at least 100K
Yes. It's got to be 6 figs to get the job done. right.
easily.
Yeah. There's just no way. Are you Googling that? I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, you're right. That's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I would not recommend Googling
All
that.
right.
That's an Insta flag.
You can duck go it though.
Yeah, I might be more comfortable with DuckDuckGo in it. Or Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, she's.
Jeeves will know.
Jeeves will
but
know.
Jeeves will show you 1998 prices, so you have to use an inflation calculator.
Which I already have in my
Yeah,
head.
it's just 2 steps. It's fine. So the race got called off. Jackson's owed $800. The guy who was supposed to race, they got in a little argument over just like how the money was going to be paid, what that arrangement was. And things get a little chippy. So the guy's son-in-law, Charles Dickinson, becomes enraged, gets really upset with Andrew Jackson because he thinks Jackson's being a dick about it. And Jackson probably is being
Sure.
a dick about it. He's Andrew Jackson. He's
That's
a dick.
his baseline.
He's
Yeah.
a baseline fucking dickhole.
Be weird if he was nice to me.
I know.
So Jackson and him start exchanging words and letters, and not just letters, but competing guest newspaper columns, I guess.
Oh, I love it. It's like, yeah,
Like they're just they're
airing
they're
out their
adding
dirty
each
laundry.
other
Yeah,
in,
just a
in
tweet
the paper.
war.
So Dickinson calls Jackson a coward and an equivocator.
Not too
Dickinson
bad.
published a state. No, not for then. It's real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
oh,
are
yeah.
OG diss tracks.
Yeah, you can't just be called a coward like that. In the National Review in 1806, he calls Jackson a worthless scoundrel, a poltroon, and a coward.
What's a poltroon?
It's just another word for coward.
Oh,
Actually, let me look up the exact definition
Yeah,
again.
there's an actual
An
letter.
utter coward. So
utter
it's like,
coward.
So it's like the lowest level of coward.
Jackson was like, that's why I fucked you a bitch, you fat motherfucker.
And you like boys. Or you're, I don't know.
Well, actually, speaking of bitches, at one point, this got really heated because Jackson thought that Dickinson had insulted his wife, Rachel Jackson.
Uh-huh.
And Dickinson, this is actually
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
literally. And Dickinson this is the weirdest part of the whole story. Dickinson was like, "Oh, I might have, but if I did, I was real drunk, and that's over the line. I'm sorry."
Thought he was going to be like, "Oh, you're absolutely right about
That's
my
what your wife said last night. Yeah.
And Jackson was like, "Apology accepted."
Aw.
Yeah. He's like, "All right, you're drunk." Because I think Jackson also is like, "I get it. Look, I'm pretty drunk all the time, so I
We all do shit we shouldn't have done.
been there." But the argument kept going. They got more heated and heated about the horse and everything else. Eventually, it just gets to the point where they just fucking hate each other. And a duel was finally asked for by Dickinson, I believe.
In print or
I don't.
was it like meet you under the tree at noon tomorrow?
I don't think you can document it because it's technically illegal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even when these duels were happening, they weren't super duper legal.
Like a lot of them had to happen in New Jersey, which apparently was the one state that was cool to do it in.
Sure.
This one they had to leave.
Sounds right for New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one they had to leave Nashville, maybe even Tennessee completely. I forget. But they did have to travel to do the duel. They had to go somewhere else to do it.
You got to go to native land, like a casino.
Kind of, yes. It is like a reservation situation.
What happens on the res stays on the res.
And that's where Jackson got his native baby. That's where he adopted it.
Well, he got it from sending people to a reservation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that one, he was just like, "Oh, did I kill your parents, little sweetie? I'm sorry."
Mommy and daddy? I'll be your mommy and daddy.
Yeah, and
Was that his only kid?
I think it was. I don't think he had kids of his own, but I could be wrong.
Was he sterile?
He kind of looked a little.
Ooh.
Like he's firing blanks.
Yeah.
That explains the murder.
It explains his aggression.
Yeah, he was an extremely sexually frustrated man. Let's see if he had children. 2, including the Indian kid.
So he had one of his own?
Yeah, Lincoya Jackson. So
But did
yes,
the kid make it? I bet the kid died in childhood.
he probably did because the other name's not even listed.
Yikes. Yeah.
So
Doesn't bode well.
who the hell knows? Anyway, so Jackson, duel's called. Turns out Dickinson, his dueling mate or whatever, his opponent, is a literal marksman. Literally a crack shot. So much so that Dickinson, they left Nashville the day before the duel with his bros, because you bring your bros or you bring all your friends and shit like
You gotta
that.
bring your squad.
Yeah, it brings the squad, and they kept stopping on the side of the road so Dickinson could be like, "Watch me shoot that bird off the branch."
Yeah, but
That's
check
so
it out.
hype.
Shoot that
That's
acorn from
so
100
hype.
yards away. Yeah,
Rob, I've never heard of him.
and there's a reason.
Yeah. So maybe not that good of a marksman.
Well, no. Jackson and his bro, knowing that Dickinson could shoot, went with a risky plan,
Uh-oh.
but a bold plan.
Duck.
No, they thought,
Cheat?
let's let him shoot first.
Eat the bullet.
Because
back.
maybe he'll be so hyped to shoot, they'll be a little too excited.
So let the marksman shoot first.
Yeah, they'll be if he's a little too excited, maybe he won't hit his mark. He'll miss whatever.
That's insane. Yeah. But it worked. It was so crazy it worked.
Did it?
Work is a hard.
It worked because Jackson just takes bullets. It doesn't hurt him. He's fucking Superman.
Wolverine.
He is Wolverine.
So Jackson and Overton also did have a backup plan or a co-plan with that plan.
Is this the bullet that stays in Jackson the rest of his life?
Yes, this is how he gets the name Old Hickory.
Yeah.
So Dickinson shoots him square in the fucking chest.
Uh-huh. No way.
But his heart was just too small like the Grinch. It didn't hit it.
It's just a flesh wound?
I mean, yeah, I guess that bullet stayed in for the rest of the life.
Where was it?
It was just like right here.
Oh my
I forget which
God.
side, but I mean right in the
Was
ribs.
he fat? Was it maybe just
No,
like...
Jackson was skinny guy.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
Jackson was fit, thin. So Jackson and Overton also had a secondary strategy to go along with that, where Overton, if he won the coin toss, because Overton, his bro, was his second. If he won the coin toss, he would get to say fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would ask Dickinson the question, "Gentlemen, are you ready?" He would ask Dickinson that after he asked Jackson. So he'd say, "Gentlemen, are you ready?" to Jackson. Yes. Then he'd say, "Gentlemen, are you ready?" to Dickinson. And he would say, "Yes." And then he would immediately say, "Fire." to try and get Dickinson to get him hurried up.
Yeah.
Right, get him too sped up. Maybe he misses. And he does. He did all of this. He won the coin toss. He did the little ticky-tack tactic. Didn't work. Jackson took it right in the fucking chest.
Damn.
But Jackson not only survived, as we know.
My man went into fucking beast mode.
He took the bullet.
The adrenaline hit.
Yeah. Aimed his pistol. And here the funny thing under dueling is so Dickinson hits him, and it's like, oh, hell yeah, I hit him. And Jackson's just like, ugh, gets special. Dickinson cannot move. He has to stand completely still.
Right, because he has...
That's the rules of dueling.
Yeah,
and so now he can take his time and kind of line up his shot and like...
There's no shot clock. I
Yeah.
mean, there is a sort of gentleman's agreement. You can't take fucking 10
forever,
minutes.
but like...
But you can't, like, have ass on the ground, like, as he shoots.
You gotta be...
Like,
what, you can't what?
just ass to the ground, like, just drop.
No. Honestly, if anything, you'll probably catch one in the face that way. Because you're shooting center mass. So if you... Yeah.
But I bet Jackson's a dickhead and goes for the temple.
He did not. But Jackson's pistol stopped at half cock, so he had to draw it back again while he's got a fucking
hold
bullet
on,
in him.
do-over.
Yeah. And he aimed again. This time he hit Dickinson in the chest, and Dickinson bled to death.
Yikes.
He probably killed a bunch of other people, too. But Dickinson is the one we know the grueling
Confirmed.
details of.
Confirmed kill.
If I was to guess, Jackson probably has triple digits.
Triple.
Triple digits.
That's a
lot.
lot.
By hand.
By hand.
With the weapons he was using.
Dude.
Yeah, it's very one at a time.
He was literally, again, for like 3 years, king in New Orleans. What he did during that time is not really documented. And I think for good reason.
I mean, I think he's probably, I would guess he was second place. If I had to guess. Second or third place.
Okay.
So you're counting somebody that was probably a pilot.
Yes, potentially.
All right.
Come on, Dan. You're circling it. Say another name.
It's fine. We'll get to
I don't
it.
want to spoil it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Come to the conclusion who it is.
But next up, we have William Henry Harrison. Harrison's probably best known for being a bitch.
Being a grade A bitch.
Not a good thing to be known for.
No. Died 41 days into office
Loser.
because he got pneumonia after giving a long-ass speech without wearing a jacket.
Ugh, embarrassing.
Well,
Sad.
he gave the speech though. He didn't. He's like, I don't need this jacket. He's known for being a hard ass, which led to him dying.
Yeah, people that are, but like you can't out hard Mother Nature. Mother Nature will fuck you up.
Yeah, it's
Wear a jacket.
a bit of a Kobe Bryant death.
Yeah.
It was avoidable.
Yeah.
Avoidable.
You can't have that mama mentality against Mother Nature.
No.
You can't mama mentality the
You
fog.
can't out Mamba the fog.
Nope. You can't out mamba the rain. It's just how it goes.
41 days. That's like pathetic.
Yeah. But actually, Harrison, prior to that, pretty badass motherfucker.
Yeah?
Served in wars against Native Americans and in the War of 1812. At the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, he was a general. That's where he got his presidential slogan, by the way, Tippecanoe and Tyler, too. Tyler was his vice president who became president. Harrison was in command, but the combat was heavy and close. And again, we're not talking about like Waterloo or World War II.
I love that his
series.
campaign slogan was just like, yeah, I fucked up some Indians.
Yep.
And
it
I'd
worked.
do it again, too. Brah, brah.
And people were like, that's why we're voting for him. Hell yeah.
Get him.
These were badass Indians, too. They were commanded by Tecumseh. I mean, they were
I know that name.
hard. They were hard motherfuckers. So he was in command of combat. And again, this was, like I said, it's not Waterloo. It's not even like the American Revolution. Like, these are small battles. We're talking like 800 versus 800, that type of thing. So tight, close, dirty battles. He was in command, and at the Battle of Tippecanoe, combat was heavy. It was close. He also saw heavy combat during the War of 1812. It is more likely than not, probably at Tippecanoe in particular, that he caught a body.
Sure. Believable.
Yeah. That's all we really know.
That's it?
Not super documented about him, but he probably caught a body at Tippecanoe.
Certainly.
He was right there in the thick of things, like on the front line.
You don't escape alive without murking some...
Not when you're on the front lines and you've got a pistol, like you're not going to use it really if you need to. And again, things got close. Things got it was the type of situation where
They have guns too, but for the most part, they're trying to take you out hand to hand.
they're trying
Like
to get
men.
into the lines.
Like men.
And so your sword comes in handy, your pistol comes in handy.
Right.
It's likely he called body. Next up, that's all we know. Next up, Zachary Taylor, another general who became president and died in office. Him from eating cherries, I believe.
Oh no, like a lot of cherries.
Yeah.
Like just massive diarrhea.
So, it's just a stomach problem, so maybe.
Because it's like if you eat too many,
Mm-hmm.
you shit a lot. And I don't know.
I
that
do recall him
from
spending like
experience or anything.
thousands of dollars on cherries, right?
Yeah, he was a big cherry guy. Cherry and milk. Cherries and milk,
Ew.
I think.
They were luxuries back then.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I love cherries, but like you have to be careful because if you have too many.
I think it was like arsenic or something in it.
Yeah, like you can't have more. Like like, I made the mistake and I just had the bag.
Yeah.
And I was like stoned and just like eating a bunch of cherries, and then I was just like shitting water. Like it was like I was
Vacated.
preparing for a colonoscopy. It was rough.
Or beach season.
Or beach season.
Yeah.
Never enough diarrhea in the summer.
Never. Ugh.
It's worth
That's how Rob got his
That's
body.
my secret.
That's what the photo.
Rob's hard
pure-
body is just cherries and diarrhea.
Yeah, pure diarrhea. Body by diarrhea.
2 weeks before Michigan.
Just,
Hit the cherry tree hard.
Oh.
you don't even know. So, Taylor saw a ton of combat. He was in the War of 1812.
Mm-hmm.
He was an officer the whole time. So officers typically, especially back in this time, less likely to kill than an officer now, or in like World War II or something like that. But fought in the War of 1812 as a low-ranking officer, the Black Hawk War, Second Seminole War, fought a bunch of Indians. Taylor also caught a body in one of those wars, certainly probably multiple bodies. He was in heavy engagements in the War of 1812 in particular. We don't know much more about that. He was basically the co-commanding general when he helped us take all of Mexico's land, but probably didn't catch a body during the Mexican-American War.
Okay. Ally.
Really?
He was too high up,
Okay.
too far back. You're not like it's like Lee and Grant didn't kill anyone in the Civil War. Like they're not on the front lines.
They're living cush. They're on a horse. They're in a nice tent.
Grant's just like smoking cigars. Like, how's the battle going?
Yeah.
Speaking of Grant, now we got Grant, and this one we have a few more details on.
Of course. He seems like he keeps a ledger. Like he seems like he's a pretty prodigious journaler.
He is widely considered to have the best presidential autobiography.
Yeah.
His what do you call it? Not notes.
So nobody from
his
Taylor to Grant you think killed?
So I looked. One of the people that could have was James Buchanan, but because he kind of was in the War of 1812, but not
Tyler
really.
was also in the war
But
of
he
1812.
was not. I looked into that.
Okay.
He was not doing stuff really.
Gotcha. All right.
Let me double check because
And then I also always get Taylor and Tyler mixed up. I'm like, one of
Fair
them
enough.
was in the Mexican-American War,
that's Taylor. Yeah,
but it's Taylor.
yeah. But Grant. So like I just said, Grant didn't kill anyone during the Civil War, but he was a very young officer during the Mexican War. He saw combat in major battles, including the Battle of Monterrey, the Battle of Molino del Rey, and Chapultepec. Chapultepec.
Yeah.
Chapultepec. I think it's Chapultepec.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It's Chapultepec.
Chapultepec.
Oh, Dan knows how to pronounce something.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wow. Shocked.
On it.
So many unique things happening today.
I have a hot
In the
bod.
Dan- in the Dan
has a
world.
hot mouth.
Yeah. Dan can say words correctly. Dan's drinking.
Dan does words.
Wait, maybe that's it. Just drink.
That was a segment on Inside TFM.
Dan does words.
Dan does
Nice.
words. Was it just putting words in front of you and having
was
you read them?
Jake reading words and me trying to figure out what they mean.
That's a mean segment.
That's hilarious.
It was pretty good.
I like it. So what's interesting about Grant is that he was actually a quartermaster.
What's a quartermaster?
You're in charge of supplies,
Okay.
which means you're not fighting.
He's the boot man.
Yeah, he
Kit man.
makes sure that he's logistics. He's what
Equipment manager.
yes, he's what as someone in the army today would call a pogue,
A
Fucking
pogue.
pogue.
person other than grunt.
Huh.
So like not a shooter.
A cook.
Yeah,
cleaner.
anything like that. Important job.
Sure. Someone's got to do it.
Logistics win wars. That's truly how it is. But Grant would often leave his little post because he wanted to get some. He was not
Get some ass or get some action?
action.
Okay.
He was not content with filling out ledgers and sending boots off to you know,
He had
45th
bigger
New York.
dreams.
Yes. So he would go out. There was one battle. He probably didn't get kills during this battle. I think it was Monterey. But he was like, let me do something. He's actually one of the best horse riders in U.S. military history. Like, won awards for it and shit like that.
Why? Did he grow up on a horse farm or something?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone had horses back then, but he had horses.
Did
He
do
volunteered.
tricks?
What?
So did he do tricks?
He did tricks in battle.
Sick. Dude, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty cool.
He at the Battle of Monterey, he volunteered to take messages between the two different lines of the U.S. military. They were kind of separated or whatever.
So he would like
through sniper fire.
Oh my god.
And he would do it on a horse by riding on the side of the horse, like fully on the side of the
Incredible.
horse.
Beautiful.
The
We
U.S.
love-
president.
I love a showman.
Yeah.
I do.
Like, this is a straight up U.S. president doing horse
Doing
tricks
fucking
in battle.
kick flips and ollies in battle.
Pretty fucking badass.
That's awesome.
Essentially a Wild West show.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
So at the Battle of Chapultepec, Grant probably did get his body. So that's probably where it happened. So Grant and some people from the 4th Infantry, this whole like area was being attacked by Mexican cavalry, and they were trying to repel the attacks. So Grant and a couple of his men took a howitzer, which is a cannon, into the bell tower of the San Cosme Church, and they put it up in the bell tower. Reassembled. They carried it. They disassembled
I was like,
it.
that's heavy.
Yeah, they disassembled it, carried it up to the bell
Piece by
tower,
piece.
reassembled it, and Grant was firing that cannon down on Mexican troops. So imagine like, you know, in Saving Private Ryan, the guys in the bell tower with the sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
It's that with a cannon.
Fuck. So you're like bowling
Yeah, just blasting.
Mexican troops. Yeah.
And I think he was promoted because of his bravery in that battle from what he did. He also led a charge at the Battle of Resaca de la Palma.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee probably caught a body there too.
Surely.
Yeah. So
Also-
Grant,
Good.
I would say Grant, couple bodies at least.
Yeah.
Maybe upwards of 20. Like, I don't really
I mean,
know.
I feel like with the cannon, it's like pretty big, right? Like,
Oh yeah, you're taking more than
so
one.
it's not just one. It's like, you know, you could,
Yes.
and especially like it explodes on contact. So like maybe there's
Not these cannons.
no. Okay.
These were just a big ball coming
And
at you.
before we proceed, I'd like to apologize to James Monroe. Was unfamiliar with your military service. Got wounded in the Battle of Trenton.
He did. He charged a cannon and was ripped to pieces. Almost died right there on the battlefield.
So no bodies.
No, he was almost a body, but he did not
That's so
catch
embarrassing. What a dork. That's so stupid. Like, ooh, do you think is this thing on?
But thank you for your service,
Yeah.
James Monroe.
Cool.
anybody. So from the research I was doing, someone was like, "Oh, I think Monroe did because he was like super duper on the front lines of the Revolution." And then someone was like, "Yeah, but."
He was, he was more in the way
He
Yeah.
than
got
anything.
pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of an immediate out of
Yeah.
action situation. Next up, we have Grover Cleveland. Cleveland is my favorite.
Okay.
Cleveland did not catch his bodies in a war,
Yes, this is what I wanted.
and he did not catch his bodies in a duel.
I love it. What was it? Was it petty? Was it
No,
revenge?
no, he
Was it a
he was
woman?
justified.
Does it count as murder if it was a woman before she could vote?
If it's a woman who's not breeding enough,
Yeah, if she doesn't have children. If it's a childless woman, is
Yeah.
it murder or is it a service to society?
I think it's just one less mouth.
One less mouth.
You know what I mean?
If
How
I
old
was
are
to
you?
guess, what did Cleveland?
I'm spinster level. I definitely would have been tried for witchcraft at this point.
Cleveland caught a body stopping a crime.
You're half right.
Ooh.
You're half right.
He was a vigilante.
Perpetuating a crime?
He was the sheriff of Erie County, New York. And thus, as sheriff,
Self-appointed. He was Batman.
he was in charge of executions.
Oh, so he did it. He DIY'd it.
Yeah, so he wanted to
It's
set
so hard to find a good
he
executioner.
wanted to set an example and not have his men do anything he wouldn't do.
So Ned Stark of him.
Yes. This is very much a Ned Stark situation. So Cleveland caught two bodies as sheriff of Erie County, New York, both murderers. One on September 6, 1872, one on Valentine's Day, 1873. He personally executed first Patrick Morrissey, who was convicted of murdering his mother. and then executed another
Gruesome.
murderer the year later, John Gaffney, or 6 months later or whatever.
What method?
Hanging.
You pull a lever.
Not necessarily.
He probably tied the rope.
Sometimes
Or
it's
you kick a stool out.
sometimes it's a short box, and you yank.
Like a piñata.
You yank to break the neck.
A human piñata.
Did you do the research to figure out how he killed him?
I did not see quite how Cleveland did it. It just says by hanging, and he either kicked the box and yanked or just kicked the box. But he killed him.
I feel like kicking the box would be kind of hard because it's like there's somebody standing on it. Like it,
Yeah.
you know.
No. It'd be
No?
pretty easy.
You think?
Yeah.
But the thing is, so if you
It's
do
like
it,
tabletopping someone.
if it's
you know?
have you guys ever seen Deadwood?
Yes.
No.
So the first episode of Deadwood,
I've only seen the movie.
It's
Timothy
the
Oliphant
You
has
serious? Oh, I was like, the movie
funny.
sucks.
Timothy Oliphant has to hang somebody in the first episode, and he's like, "Do me quick!" And so he doesn't want to choke, so he kicks him off the box and then yanks him as hard as he can to break his neck.
Because
And
he has stones. Because he has morals.
I like to believe that Grover Cleveland yanked.
He seems like a yanker.
Yeah.
He yanked, and then he cranked.
And then he shanked.
And then he
Stank.
non-consent.
Pranked. And then after all that was done, he drank.
Probably. Next up, William McKinley.
We could make that a Dr. Seuss book.
A Dr.
Cleveland.
Seuss book of Grover Cleveland's sheriff.
Execution
Yeah,
days.
a day in the life. Get ready with me to go execute someone.
Just like a children's book series of all the presidents, but it's all their darkest shit.
But it's like cute.
It's George Washington's slave teeth. It's Thomas Jefferson's bastard children. Who, I didn't realize this, by the way. Sally Hemings, 3/4 white.
I believe it. Because it's like,
Because Thomas Jefferson's father-in-law banged her mom.
wow. Oh,
She comes from a
so
long line of slave
incestuous.
bangings.
Yeah.
But so, like, Thomas Jefferson's kids with Sally Hemings,
We're mostly white.
they were almost completely white.
Yeah.
Like,
They
they were
could've-
white
they could've
passing.
passed.
They did
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah.
Like, several of them fully passed. And then the other ones that didn't pass as well, I think, didn't get freed till later.
It must have been even harder to pass because, like, you can't, like, wear sunscreen when you're working. You know, like, you can't really protect yourself from getting
Right.
tan. You know,
And
like,
also, everyone's kind of looking for it.
yeah.
Like, they're like,
And how do you straighten your hair? I guess with an iron?
there's curly hair back then.
Not, but like, you know.
Do you think the
They're
pale
curly
people?
hair like yours.
Yeah, but like a, you know, like a kinky curly hair. It's hard to tame.
Yeah.
How bad of an issue was sunburn, you think? For the whites?
Horrific.
Probably pretty bad.
Do you think it would
I
disable
mean, I think
somebody
Rob
for
would have
like
died
a week?
with melanoma at this point.
I wouldn't have gone outside. First off, I'm the exact fairness of a aristocrat from the time, which means I'm not outside in the first place.
True.
Secondly, they're all working in long sleeves for the most part. Like, it's like a.
Yeah, I guess they don't have like tank tops.
I mean, let's be honest though. Like, look at if you just see any like gardener or day laborer outside.
yeah, they still wear.
it's all long
sleeves.
sleeves, big ass hats.
But
like,
you can tell by the hands.
oh yes, it's always the hands.
Hands give it away.
Look at Rob's hands.
Soft, beautiful.
I know I have more calluses than you.
Probably. Good. I take pride in my soft hands.
Mine are manufactured, though, you know?
Yeah, you go do it to yourself.
Yeah. It's not
No, I
required of
mean,
me to
yeah,
do
it's
it.
not like I'm earning these calluses for somebody else. these are mine.
So William McKinley is next. He lived by the sword. He died by the sword. He was one of our presidents who was assassinated. But before he was assassinated, he saw some shit. He might have seen the worst combat of any president that we've had.
McKinley was in what war?
Civil War.
Oh.
Specifically.
Dan, you're off your game today.
I'm trying to kind of gauge how old he would have been. Yeah.
He was relatively old when he was president. Not super old, but he was young, and he was young when he was in the Civil War. But his unit, the 23rd Ohio, was right in the fucking thick of it in Antietam.
Oh shit!
Absolutely the
bloodiest battle in the
Yeah.
Civil War.
the bloodiest day in U.S. history
Ugh.
to date.
Ugh.
Like, brutal.
Even more than 9/11.
Yes. It did beat. It beats 9/11.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, by a wide margin.
Do a lot of things beat 9/11?
No,
Yeah.
No.
9/11 was like 3,000 people.
Yeah, Antietam's not much more than that. 9/11, I think, beat Pearl Harbor. Or actually, it might still be behind Pearl Harbor. But 9/11's like third. So, like, more than those amount of troops died, like, in a day during World War II.
But, like, in one place at one time.
In one event, 9/11 is top 3.
Interesting.
Antietam's number 1, though. And McKinley was right in the thick of it during Antietam.
Was he an officer or was he just...
Private.
Okay.
So he's on the line with a musket.
Yeah.
He's a grunt.
Yeah,
He's a
doing
grunt.
shit. Almost certainly caught a body there. Also served on the front lines in several other engagements. Did get promoted to officer at one point, but still the battles he saw were horrible. Even like small battles in the Civil War were a fucking nightmare. Like you hear about Antietam and Gettysburg, but they were all fucking horrible.
Gnarly.
Yeah. He said of Cloyd's Mountain, when his men charged enemy trenches and drove the rebels from their position, McKinley said of that combat, it was, and this is after Antietam, it was, quote, as desperate as any witness during the war. So, like, even in engagements you never heard of, it was just the grossest, shittiest fucking combat. McKinley, right in the middle of it, never more than a junior officer, like a lieutenant, or I think he might have risen further, but whatever.
You're right, though. There's about 3,600 fatalities, but 23,000 casualties. So 23,000 people got
Shot.
at least,
Injured.
like, stabbed.
Yeah.
Yikes. That's a lot.
And that was in, like, 5 hours.
Yeah. And, I mean, I guess I wonder how many people died just from, like, not being urgent enough for immediate medical attention. You know, like, dying in the next few days.
So, the amount of people
Because, like, there's not enough
who died in the
healthcare
Civil
staff.
The amount of, like, battle casualties in the Civil War, it would have been half that if it happened in World War II.
Yeah.
Like, just from their wounds that weren't properly treated or
Yeah.
infected or whatever.
Hand
like,
washing.
Yeah, all kinds of fun shit like that.
Also, I'll admit it, I thought the word casualty meant deaths until about, like, a year and a half
10
ago.
minutes ago.
Year and a
Yeah,
half
people
ago.
try to kind of bump it up by saying casualties, and then they just let you.
I don't like it.
Kinda
I
do
don't
the
care
math.
for it.
Also, it's kind of funny that it's casualties. Like, it has the word casual in it. Like, it's no big
Yeah.
deal. But it's, like, kind of a big deal.
It's the exact opposite of casual.
Yeah.
In fact, if
pretty
you're
Well, I
serious.
mean, there's casualties and fatalities, so that kind of counterbalances each other.
Yeah.
Fatal.
But if you
casual.
if you say it in the same breath, but if you just say casualties, it's intentionally
well, some
misleading.
people fatally leave the battle, and some people just kind of casually leave.
Casually.
Getting walked out on a stretcher is pretty casual.
one leg less than
Yeah.
they entered.
And that's how I'm gonna forever remember. You know.
That's how I lost 40 pounds.
That's one way to do it.
Diarrhea
also eating those cherries.
or
yeah.
amputation.
Yeah, cherries and just diarrhea
Cherries
and amputation.
amputation.
Yeah, it's the way to do it.
Doctors hate
So,
this
yeah.
one trick.
McKinley absolutely caught bodies. He was in horrible, horrible combat. I have no doubt he caught bodies. Next up is the man who replaced McKinley in the office because McKinley was assassinated. Teddy Roosevelt.
Mm-hmm.
This
The youngest U.S.
I
president.
said Roosevelt.
Yeah,
The youngest U.S. president ever.
Cute. How old was he?
42, 41.
Nice.
But he was
So-
not elected.
If Trump wins and J.D. Vance gets in, he'll be the youngest.
If Trump wins, dies in office, and Vance,
It's a lot of ifs.
yeah,
A lot of ifs, but
dies or gets, I don't know, whatever.
there's a possibility because Vance is what, in his 30s?
He's 39.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got some years.
I
How
was
old
in
are
high
you?
38,
Okay.
right?
You could be.
I was watching a Super Bowl highlight earlier today of John Elway in the Super Bowl. Old ass John Elway. In his Super Bowl he won, he was 37. So I just kind of want to blow his
That's
brains out.
so old to be playing in a Super Bowl.
I mean,
37?
37.
When did
Back
John
then,
Elway do the Vortex commercials?
He's probably 35.
Is he the one that had they had the first phone? Which is the team that had the first phone on
It was Joe Horn with the Saints.
Okay.
Was it?
No, it was
Get on the
somebody
horse.
else, and he was like calling his wife during the Super Bowl.
I
Because he
think
was
Joe
like,
Montana did that.
yes, it was.
Yeah.
Joe Horn
I was gonna say
famously
Joe Namath,
pulled
and he
out a
was a
cell
Joe.
phone out of the goalpost, though, for a
that's sick.
touchdown celebration.
He did what?
He pulled a cell phone out of the goalpost for a touchdown celebration.
To like call someone and be like, I scored a touchdown.
But he like put his phone in the.
yeah, hit his phone in the
That's
goalpost.
hilarious.
So Roosevelt is another one that we have absolute confirmation
Oh, yeah.
that he killed someone. This is the third that we have
The
absolute.
Rough Riders? Come on.
The absolute confirmation.
Yeah.
Not only forget just
Boom,
oh yeah,
boom,
he was Rough
boom,
Riders.
boom, 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 boom.
It's in his Medal of Honor commendation.
Stop.
Uh,
Drop. Shut him down, open up shop.
Oh.
We gonna get
Oh.
dinged here on YouTube.
Oh. It's less than 10
maybe.
seconds.
But
It's less than 10
I was just kind of doing a little background for you to like do your.
Oh, okay.
You do the whole thing as we kind of DMX it in the back.
Look, there's nothing I would love more than do an acapella episode. Just me narrating while there's acapella backing the whole time.
We're just providing
All I want.
ambiance.
Thematic ambiance.
So I'm going to read you Teddy Roosevelt's Medal of Honor commendation. Now, this is not the only body Roosevelt caught, I imagine.
This is
the one that we know for sure he caught. This is the third president who we have 100% confirmation he killed someone.
I used to always think, too, you had to die for the Medal of Honor.
Nah, man.
But no, Teddy lived.
So, of Roosevelt, it says, for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, Lieutenant Colonel Theodore Roosevelt distinguished himself by acts of bravery on the 1st of July, 1898, near Santiago de Cuba, Republic of Cuba, while leading a daring charge up San Juan Hill. Lieutenant Colonel Roosevelt, in total disregard for his personal safety and accompanied by only 4 or 5 men, led a desperate and gallant charge up San Juan Hill, encouraging his troops to continue the assault through withering enemy fire over open countryside. Facing the enemy's heavy fire, he displayed extraordinary bravery through the charge and was the first to reach the enemy trenches, where he quickly killed one of the enemy with his pistol, allowing his men to continue the assault. His leadership and valor turned the tide in the battle for San Juan Hill. Lieutenant Colonel Roosevelt's extraordinary heroism and devotion are to duty or in keeping with the highest traditions, blah, blah, blah. So, in his commendation, confirmed kill. Not the only kill he had that day, I assume. Not the only kill in the war he had, I assume. But Roosevelt, confirmed body on San Juan Hill.
I just love all the adjectives that they used.
Right.
Like
they really dress it up.
And like, you know, in total disregard for his personal. There was another funny one in there of just like insulting adjectives. Like, this fucking idiot. Can't believe he did it.
Yeah.
But because he did, here's a medal.
Risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty.
Above and beyond. Back when men were men.
Bully! This is like, I want to do an audio sketch on Patreon where I'm just Teddy Roosevelt. Wanting to get into a fight for no reason. Just something. Bully!
Just Russell Crowe fighting around the world.
Pretty much. It's Teddy Roosevelt fighting around the world. Like, Teddy Roosevelt just wants to beat the shit out of a bear, and it doesn't.
Just for the sake of it.
Doesn't ever go well, yeah. Next
he
up,
definitely has like the most exotic animals that were killed in office, right?
One would think. He had a lot of weird animals just wandering around the White House too.
That's something I would do. Like, it's like the point of that high of an office is like no one's going to tell you no. So like, you can have whatever animals you want, and like you don't even really have to do all the grunt work. Somebody else takes care of them. Like the Queen and all her corgis. I bet those are the worst behaved corgis.
Oh, I'm sure they're complete assholes.
Fucking dicks.
Yeah, he had dogs, cats, guinea pigs,
Monkeys?
ponies, all wandering around. I think he had a raccoon. Someone had a raccoon. I thought it was him.
I mean, essentially, that's what Middle Eastern princes do.
Yeah, it's like 20 falcons. Have you seen the picture of the Saudi prince who has all his falcons on a plane?
Yes. And they all have their own seat.
Yeah, it's the funniest fucking thing.
I love it.
I want to party with the Saudi prince. That's just like my only goal in life at this point. Next up is the president who probably has more kills than any other U.S. president.
George Bush.
Close, but no cigar.
It's not HW.
No.
Although, actually, it might be HW. Not hand in hand, but between his like intelligence work.
Oh, well, if you want to count orders, well, it's got to be FDR.
Truman
or FDR. Well, Truman is the one I'm about to talk about.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
But Truman didn't pull that lever on the atomic bomb. We're talking about Truman when he was in the military because he commanded an artillery unit in World War I, and he was personally pulling triggers on cannons.
Truman is exactly how he's portrayed in Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Have you seen
it.
Oppenheimer?
Mm-mm.
He's just like so Truman was the last president to not go to college. Kind of a
What
man.
year is this?
45, 46, 47. I mean, he was in World War I, but when he was president, it's like...
Well, he also wasn't elected. FDR died in office.
He was eventually elected.
Right.
But first term he was not, yeah. He was FDR's vice president. He was the commander of an artillery unit in World War I and saw both close combat and also helped fire off batteries when necessary. in a battle called the Battle of Who Run. His soldiers were attacked suddenly in the night. Germans were overrunning the position. Truman succeeded at ordering his men to stay in the fight by using horrible profanity, allegedly, from his, quote, railroad days. And the men were so impressed with his cursing that they just forgot the Germans were shooting at him, went back to their
creative
position.
cursing.
I mean,
Yeah.
you just hang out with the Chinese and Irish too long.
And it rubs off.
It does earn trust. It's proven scientifically that if you curse, people trust you more.
smarter.
Yeah, they're like, you're more relatable.
Yeah. His unit was also part of a massive prearranged assault barrage before the Meuse-Argonne offensive, so one of the biggest offensive at the end of the war. So he was part of shooting off the cannons that killed a whole bunch of Germans in trenches. Truman also at one point saved a bunch of lives while killing a bunch of other people. He saw German batteries setting up to shoot so that they could fire on the 28th Division, which is like near his people. And Truman ordered his guys to just start raining fucking hell on them, even though he didn't have orders to do it. And he got in trouble for it, but he killed the entire artillery unit that was setting up. Again, he was part of working some of the batteries and probably pulled triggers from time to time. Not consistently, but Truman's probably got a good amount of bodies just working an artillery piece in World War I. That is where most of the kills came from, is artillery. So Harry Truman, body after body. And then, obviously, okayed 2 nukes on Japan, which...
You didn't drop the bomb.
Yeah.
I did.
No one's going to give a shit who made it.
I dropped it.
I want to watch it. It's just been... there hasn't been a good 3-hour stretch where I'm like,
But
this
it's so
seems
fast. It's paced so
Every
well.
scene's like a minute.
Yeah.
It is. The pacing's insane. I was like stunned by the pacing. Gerald Ford got some in World War II, but I'm not sure he has a kill, so I'm going to skip him. He was on an aircraft carrier, had a couple jobs, including an anti-aircraft battery. So he definitely shot at people trying to kill him, but
Who knows if...
it's too iffy a proposition to say for sure. Last, we've got HW.
Not Kennedy.
No, I looked into Kennedy. Probably no kills on PT 109.
Okay.
Certainly.
And even if he did, he just went to confession.
And then
And then they were absolved.
Yeah,
Right.
Doesn't count. He saw action and was in very dangerous situations and did heroic things. But from what I can tell, I didn't see any evidence of a kill. He could, but I didn't. I couldn't find anything even great about it.
Gotcha.
H.W. Bush, though, flew 58 combat missions in the Pacific in World War II.
That's a lot.
He was a bomber pilot based off a carrier, the USS San Jacinto, in the Pacific Theater in the Navy in World War II. It was a Grumman TBF Avenger. It's a torpedo bomber. So you took off from an aircraft carrier. Sometimes they would use torpedoes. Sometimes they'd drop regular bombs, I would imagine. His lanky physique earned him the nickname in the Navy, Skin.
Okay.
Okay.
It's also weird that, he is kind of tall for a pilot.
Yeah.
But lanky. Slender.
Slender
You're
man.
supposed to be
Skin, that is not a good
compact
nickname.
man.
It's the type of nickname you get if you kill a lot of people, I feel like. It sounds like someone that kills a lot of people.
Yeah, like you have, I don't know,
He was 6'2", HW. So
Yeah, dude.
a bitch compared to Washington.
They're not letting like a 5'5" dude run the CIA.
Who's
No.
the shortest president?
Madison.
Yeah, probably.
Because I feel like people don't want like a short. Like you want to elect a guy that's like manly and masculine.
Madison was
Madison?
5'4". Tallest president was Lincoln at 6'4".
5'4" is very short.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
win
for the
today.
time,
He
he's
wouldn't win
average.
today.
No, he would never win today.
Like just the handshake
Would you
alone.
laugh at him?
The handshake at the debate next to a normal sized man, like that would crush him. 10 points in the polls lost right
Yeah,
there.
done.
Easily.
Just a little baby.
Yeah. Oh.
You know,
He
Look
would
at
get
him.
patted on the head, no doubt. Like Trump would
Oh
just
my God.
torture him.
Yes.
it would be, there's no recovering from
No
being
recovering
5'4".
from being 5'4". Yeah. No personality or dance skills or income could offset that.
Oh, yeah. So in one of Bush's many engagements, an attack on a Japanese installation, he successfully hit several targets, but his plane was taken down by enemy fire. His crew members died, but Bush was able to bail out from the aircraft. Several other planes on that same mission, I don't know if you know this, were also shot down, and the pilots were captured and executed and eaten by the Japanese.
Eaten.
So George H.W. Bush
Could have been a POW that got eaten.
this close to being eaten by Japanese soldiers.
I'm so glad he wasn't, because then we'd never have George W.'s beautiful watercolors.
Exactly.
We'd also
What the world wouldn't have.
What
We'd
the
never have that image of HW at an Astros game holding a baseball.
Yeah.
Does it look like he doesn't know how to hold it?
No, he's just on his deathbed, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is sad because he does know how to hold a baseball. He's a D1 athlete.
And
Mm.
also,
He pitched for Yale.
it's around the same time that some woman accused him of like groping her, but he
At that age.
but he had no idea where he was.
Oh my
He's
he's just like groping. Like,
He was
he's
just
just like, I
grabbing.
need help.
like someone tried to Me Too 93-year-old George H.W. Bush.
in like the 80s or 90s?
No,
No.
like at that time
Like
when he was 93.
2012.
Jesus.
They were like, he groped me, and everyone was like, I don't.
He's senile.
Yeah, he
Leave him
doesn't.
alone.
No, that's what
He doesn't have the dexterity for groping.
Yeah, there was this one situation. I don't know if you heard about this a while back, but it made me really annoyed. Some women like tried to shame Me Too, whatever, Gary Busey for groping them at a photo event. Like you could go take pictures with Gary Busey,
Yeah.
and he probably did it. But here's my thing with that is like
Here,
you
pass
were
that.
only there to take pictures with him.
This is what he looked like.
You were only there to take pictures with Gary Busey. Yeah, he
The
looks
neck
bad.
brace?
Yeah,
Oh.
a sexual predator can take many forms.
Oh my. In a
That
neck
isn't one of
brace.
them.
Yeah. Oh no. Poor guy. His little
That's just my
orthopedic
last
shoes and
image of
and the
HW.
Astros orange socks.
Yeah.
And his little khakis. Those shoes, like the tread is completely unworn. Like those shoes have never touched the
No,
ground.
they've never touched pavement. Yeah, but the Gary Busey thing, it was like he was accused of groping them or whatever. He probably did. But you were at an event to take a photo with Gary Busey.
It's kind of consent to groping.
the
just
only
by being there.
the only reason you're there is because you think it's funny that he's insane.
Yeah.
So like imagine getting angry at a circus bear for mauling you when you try to take a picture with the circus
But
bear.
it's like no, it's like being mad that like you're taking a picture next to like a horse on 6th Street and being mad that the horse like shits. It's like
Right.
that's you're in the line of fire. That's what they do.
That like Gary Busey, you're taking, and you're only there because he's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he did something crazy and you're mad?
I mean, groping, it's like
You're not there for Point
grow
Break.
Grow up. Groping is just not cancelable. I'm sorry. Like
Not for an insane person.
or like unless it's like a child, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't totally agree with what Rob's arguing, but yeah, definitely HW because he has no idea where he was at that point.
He could have
just
been.
take the compliment. Oh, Gary Busey thought I had a good ass. Sounds nice.
I don't think Gary Busey was trying to feel if you were a demon or not. And it's all it really was.
I was trying to extract your soul.
Yeah, like Gary Busey wanted to make sure you were real.
Yeah.
Like that's
That
all
he
that
was real. That this is really happening.
Yeah. That's all I got for today. Those are all the presidents we know for sure snatched a life with their bare hands.
Do you think Prince Harry got a body?
So he probably called in artillery strikes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that counts personally.
Yeah.
Like I don't count every body that Truman's unit got as his because he was ordering it. It's got to be the ones where he was yanking, and from all accounts, he was often not often, but he would pull the trigger on the cannon from time to time.
Okay.
I think
Couple
if
congressmen
anything,
probably have bodies.
I think if anything, Prince Harry's body count is like maybe like a drunken antic, you know, or like I feel like it's more of like a
A
succession.
DUI you never heard of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something that just kind of got swept under the rug, and somebody got a big check, and
Well, like how his
He-
mom died.
He gave someone too much cocaine.
yeah, or like too good of cocaine. Like
Yeah,
if you're
or-
used to like sludge
Yeah.
and you get the pure.
Yeah.
You're trying to like, yeah. It's like when old people smoke weed today, they're like, this is different than it was. It's like, yeah, this isn't
It's like 20 times stronger.
this wasn't like grown in someone's like closet. This
Yeah.
is like,
Dick Cheney tried to get a body.
oh,
He did. There's several vice presidents with bodies. I didn't get into it, but and then as
Well,
far
Cheney
as
certainly has bodies, but
as
I
far
mean,
as congressmen go, there's a
when he went hunting, he tried to kill his friend.
Nancy Pelosi,
Hillary Clinton,
So
tons
Hillary
of
Clinton's
bodies,
got so many bodies.
so many.
but not her own hands. Can't count.
I know she's got a good wet work guy.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's got to be
Wet
your own
work.
hands. You got to snatch that
I've
life
never heard of wet work.
yourself. It's
You're
been a
not
long
in the
time since
biz,
I've heard
dude. You're not in the biz. You
that.
don't know
What'd
the
you guys
biz.
learn today?
I learned that Taylor and Tyler are different people. No, I knew that, but I always
I
get
think
them
just
mixed
barely though. They served right by each other.
up. I get them mixed up all the time.
That's
So
fair.
I thought Tyler was in the Mexican-American War. It was Taylor.
Tyler I think it was in the War of 1812.
War of 1812.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that.
I learned that George Washington was 6'4". Who knew? I think that's probably why he was elected.
What was
just
more
'cause he was
shocking,
really
him
tall.
being 6'4" or Madison being 5'4"?
I think Madison being 5'4". That's
Yes.
hilarious.
That's a lot.
I can't.
That was the
listen
guy.
to
To be fair, our shortest president. White House burned down.
Coincidence?
Enemy troops burned the White
British
House
didn't
down.
He
respect
couldn't
us.
reach the stove to turn it off.
fucking Canadians.
Yeah. They didn't respect his height. Who's today's Hitler?
Oof. Is it Jackson?
It's always Jackson.
I don't know. Jackson rightfully killed the guy in the
It's
duel.
like Jackson's crew. It's like
Jackson was
Jackson's.
Challenged to a duel that he then tried to cheat at and didn't succeed. Won the duel, but didn't
Pretty
succeed.
ungentlemanly to cheat at a duel.
He didn't really cheat.
But to grease the.
He let the guy hit him.
So it's cheating in the way, like, back in the day when you play beer pong and someone would be a total twat and like put their hand over the cup and be like,
That was me. Always me.
Dude, it's not. It's like power slap, and you let the person go before you.
Yeah.
You eat it, and then you just wind up and
I mean, he fucking ate it. Yeah.
go full
Forever.
blast.
You think he got like lead poisoning from it? Like, did he have any?
No, he lived to
lasting
78.
effect?
He was
oh my
fine.
God.
It was perfectly fine.
Yeah. he
That's
was-
crazy. Good for him. Impressive.
Bastards live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is your Hitler Jackson as well?
I think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's
No,
a true Hitler.
it's not even Jackson. It's literally George Washington. He killed a guy that was trying to surrender.
His troops did. I think he got. I don't know if he killed that guy,
yeah,
but he got.
I do think that was the least.
He got war crimed bodies. I
yeah,
think.
I
That's
think
the
that's like
least
the
justified.
least upright.
Yeah.
Like that's the most crooked killing.
Right. He's supposed to be this upstanding founding father.
Yeah, and he's just fucking axing and.
And he probably took a scalp.
Maybe.
You think?
This was early Washington. Was this
He
before
was a
Martha?
different man.
Before
he calmed down? Before he
Before he
was
settled
tamed.
in.
Before his house broken.
He was a fucking wild man.
I mean, he was fiery red hair at the time.
He's just Tormund.
I'm just imagining Conan with wood teeth.
It's probably accurate. When did she? By the way, you know that George Washington was Martha Washington's second husband.
Oh yeah, because
Not
didn't she
talked
have a
about
kid
enough.
already? Did he have stepkids?
I don't know. So they were married in 1759.
But didn't she have kids before?
Probably.
Dude.
Honestly,
George, you were
Crazy.
option
Oh, he was
number
unmarried.
2.
He was not married at the time. A single man.
that is the actions of those are the actions of a man without a woman in his bed.
Yes. But also, do you want to be a second husband?
I mean, I don't want to be anyone's husband.
Oh,
but-
she was pretty rich, and her husband died.
I think you just got to get
think.
one out of
Yeah.
the system.
You
You're-
what?
You got to get one out of the system. Like, he should have married someone else,
Have her die.
divorced, and then
You can't
gone
get
on to-
divorced. She dies in childbirth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ew, but then the worst case scenario is you're stuck with the living child and the mom died. Then you have to take care of.
But then you start dating again,
Yeah,
play
you
dates.
find some hot 16-year-old in town.
And you're
She's
just like-
yeah,
start lactating.
yeah.
You have her kid plays for
Well,
with your
first off,
kid.
there's 40 slave wet nurses on the plantation. George has that taken care of.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, then you just find some cute high schooler in town, and that's your new wife.
And then you marry her.
Yeah, and then you go war crime with some French guys.
No, but I don't think he would have done war crimes if he was married. I think
I
war
agree.
crimes are for
It's a young man's game.
war crimes are a bachelor's game.
Yeah. Explains many bachelor parties I've been on.
I feel like Napoleon committed a lot of war crimes in the name of his wife.
But how many did he do by
I
his own
love
hand?
his dirty letters to his wife. I love that he was like a sexter. Napoleon.
Oh, you should. Did we do James Joyce's?
He was kind of a sub, right? Like, his wife dominated him.
Yeah, and he would like talked about how he like wanted to
He had Dom on the field.
sub in the bedroom. Yeah. Nothing beats Prince Charles's letters to Camilla, where he's like, "I wish I was your Tampax so I could live inside you."
Eloquent.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the Royals know.
That's
know
it. That's
romance.
today's Hitler.
Yeah, that.
Today and every day.
You're today's Hitler now. That's. I didn't know that.
Bringing that
You
up
didn't know
there.
that?
No, I didn't. That's,
Isn't that
good
gruesome?
Lord.
Isn't that disgusting? That was like
Foul.
written down.
Yeah, that is foul.
And you know he like reread it and he was like, "Oh, that's good."
That's
Boom,
the
yeah,
one.
that made the edit. All right, well, for Dan Regester and Gabi Montemayor,
Gabi, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Oh, thanks for
where can
having
the
me,
people
guys.
find you?
Follow me on everything at Gab Monty, unless you have something mean to say and then don't.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Also, leave comments on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Softcore History. Just put it in the search bar. You'll find it. Rate and review on Apple and Spotify. 5 stars on Spotify, Apple, 5 stars. Leave a review if you can. That's how we move up the charts. And, of course, patreon.com/softcore history, where you get 2 additional episodes every week. And we already have 2 years of evergreen content. So you can literally sign up right now, and you'll be good for, like, the rest of the year.
It's a lot. It's a lot of
It's
content.
A lot of content.
I mean,
Any fresh
people are
merch?
raving
Any
about
hot merch coming in?
merch, softcorehistory.com, but people are raving right now about Skippy LaRoche.
Yeah, I'm starting to do audio sketches, spare bedroom style.
I love it.
So people that
Better
was well
sound quality
received.
than spare bedroom?
What?
Better sound quality than spare bedroom?
Little bit.
Well, it's not recorded in a spare bedroom anymore.
Yeah, we're
so-
not recording on like a phone.
Yeah. No, it's So I'm trying to do a sketch every other week.
Wow.
Try to stay on the schedule. I've been off it already because last week's production schedule for the studio was.
We already got our next one.
What?
Teddy Roosevelt fights around the world.
Bully. Yeah.
I just want more Rob as like a old
Character?
prostitute.
Oh,
I love
voices.
Helen Slagerman.
Helen Slagerman's coming back.
We've done that.
There is one Diary of Helen Slagerman on there so far. There's gonna be another one coming in the next couple weeks.
Oh, Helen.
Yeah, I've got a sketch idea that I'm writing right now for the next one, and then we'll do one after. Probably do Helen after that.
You got to space out your Helens because it's
Can't have
hell
too
on
much.
your voice.
It actually fucking is brutal.
Yeah. He's never the same.
It's my favorite. It's
a little
my
piece of him
favorite
dies
Rob
every time he
voice.
does the voice.
Do the
But-
outro as Helen Slagerman.
You can find him as Rob Fox 3 on socials. I'm Dan Regester, Regester.
He's got a
lovely Instagram.
social media. I can't do it right now. Fucking- it's not ready. It's not ready.
And yeah, Rob, take us out.
For Dan Regester and Gabi Montemayor, I'm Rob Fox.
You just got soft served.